Hello and welcome to lesson 14, Perfectly Spoken. My name is Natalie and today we are looking at lots of interesting things. So let's have a look at the content of today's lesson. Today in this lesson we look at phrasal verbs. And phrasal verbs we often use when talking about computers. The imperative. Vocabulary related to computers and IT in general. If you remember, IT refers to information technology. Okay, so let's have a look. First of all, I'm going to put two objects on the screen. What are they? What are they? Okay. What's this? And what's this? Well, it's a key and a button. A key and a button. Now, how are a key and a button related to today's lesson? Well, let's have a look at this. Okay, have something here. Can you see this? Can you see this? Yeah? Do you know what it is? Yeah. Look, it's, I don't know if people have these in their houses anymore. I think no. But in my house, yes. This is my daughter's, so it's like a CD player. You put the CD in here, and here you've got these things here. Now, what do we call this, and this, and this, and this? What do we call them? Do we call them keys, or do we call them buttons? Do you know? Yes, we call them buttons. This is for example, the power button or the on-off button. Sorry, it's very loud. Okay, and then we have the volume button here. Okay, so we call them buttons. I think, going back to our pictures here, I suppose the buttons are usually round. Now, what do we call the buttons on a computer? Well, we don't call them buttons, we call them keys. Okay, so the square ones you have on a computer are not buttons, they are keys. And subsequently, the place that you type is a keyboard, okay? So buttons are ones you use on other equipment like this, but on a computer, we use the ones, the A, the B, the C, the letters, etc. are keys, okay? All right, so now we're going to look at some specific vocabulary, right, related to computers. First of all, I just want to show you one more thing to illustrate the word button, okay? So have a look here. You can see in this picture here, if you look at her camera, you can see that on her camera, you see this arrow here, she has buttons on her camera, not keys, okay? So it's a little thing, but I hear people making this mistake quite often. Okay, so now here you can see on the left my keyboard, my computer keyboard, and then on the right, what can you see? What can you see? So you've got, this is my computer. What type of computer is it? Right, it's a PC, it's not an Apple Mac, it's a PC, and it's a laptop, which means it's portable, okay? So I can close it and carry it somewhere else. And you've got the keyboard, as I said. And on the right, what is it? You've got the keyboard and the screen. Okay, the screen. Right, let's look at some other elements on here. We've got the space bar, that's the biggest key on the keyboard. You can see here. What's this key called? Has two names, usually. It's called enter or return. Enter or return. Okay, and then you have another one here and another one here. So you've got the caps lock or the capital. Caps lock is to make the letters into capitals. So from A to A, like that. And then you've got shift. And on the screen, you can see there's a web page. And can you see here the arrow, where the arrow, yes, you see the arrow? Okay, and this is pointing at an icon. Okay, the little things you click are icons. Okay, so this is very, very basic vocabulary related to the external part of a computer. Now here are some verbs. We often say press the button. So for example, with the stereo, I pressed the power button. You press the enter key, you press the space bar. Okay. Notice here we're using the imperative. Now, what is the imperative? The imperative is used for giving instructions. So you don't need a subject. You're just using the infinitive of the verb. It's like very, very easy. So, for example, we use this a lot for instructions. So first, you'd first turn on the computer, go to Google, put in the address, click on the icon. Do you see? Okay, so we use the imperative. So it's basically no subject, infinitive, and if you want it negative, you use not. So for example, well, not with the auxiliary verb. Okay, so for example, don't worry, be happy. I think that's the most famous example of the infinitive. Don't worry, be happy. So you're using the infinitive, but with don't. Okay. All right. So here's some examples. Press the control key. Press the escape key. Click on the icon. Don't press. You see here we're using the auxiliary. Don't press the escape key. Don't worry, be happy. Do you know that one? Okay. Now we're going to look at some other verbs we often use with technology in general. So here we've got turn on the radio. So let me just give you an example. Turn on, turn off. Okay, so you've got turn on the radio, turn on the computer, turn on the light. Okay, these are phrasal verbs. Now, what is a phrasal verb? A phrasal verb has two components. Okay, so it's got two parts. It has a verb and a preposition. Okay, have a look again in the examples. So you've got here. Do you see? Verb, preposition, verb, preposition. Okay. Why are they called phrasal verbs? Because the meaning changes depending on the preposition. Okay. So turn on is this. I turn on. and turn off means to stop the radio, okay? So you have different things. All right. So let's have a look now at a summary of phrasal verbs, okay? So here we are. What is a phrasal verb? It's a verb plus a preposition. Here, okay. Now, here we have some phrasal verbs in action. Okay. Are you ready? This is my radio again. Okay, so here we are. Right, so first, turn on the radio, press the power button or the on-off button. I'm going to turn it on. Okay. Oh, I can't hear, so I turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it down, turn it down, turn it down, and then turn off. Okay. So there we are, some phrasal verbs in action. They're very important. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the examples. So we did turn it on, turn it off, turn it up. That was the then turn it down. Okay. And also, I like this, the last two examples here. You've got scroll up and scroll down. This is when, for example, you have a document on your computer and you want to move up the page or down the page. So you scroll up or you scroll down. Scroll up, scroll down. The word scroll comes from this. Do you see this? Look here. Can you see this? Okay, this, right, this is a scroll. This is a scroll, okay? This is a scroll from Egypt, in fact. You can see here, okay. And I suppose when they were doing the computers, they were like, well, it's scroll up and scroll down is related to scrolls, okay? So it's moving up and down a page. So these are very, very typical verbs we use with technology, especially computers. Okay, so now I'm going to look at some questions. These questions involve some phrasal verbs as well. So have a look at the questions. Can you answer the questions? Okay. What does www stand for? What does www stand for? Stand for is a phrasal verb, and it means, what does it represent? Okay. So do you know, what does www stand for? Do you know? Well, it stands for World Wide Web. World Wide Web. Okay. Where does the word internet come from? Where does the word internet come from? So here you have another phrasal verb, come from, which is like originate. Where does it originate from? Do you know? It's the combination of two words. Okay, it's the combination of international and network. And they put them together throughout the middle. So it's international network internet. Okay. Why should you turn off your computer in a storm? Do you know why? Well, apparently, I don't know if this is true, but if there's like a storm and there's lightning, it can go down the cable and make your computer, your laptop, explode. I don't know if that's true. Okay, now which search engine or browser, like search engine is Firefox, Google, for example, do you use to look for information? To look for information. So look for is an example of another phrasal verb. Okay. Can you always remember your password when you log into a website? Okay, so again, got another phrasal verb, log in, right? You have to sign up and then you log in and a password. So for example, you put a special word in, a secret, top secret word so that you can access a website. Okay, so just going to highlight phrasal verbs here. You can see the phrasal verbs highlighted. So we've got stand for, come from, turn off, look for, and log in, right? And now I'm going to highlight some useful vocabulary. So you've got search engine or browser and password. Password's very important. I can remember my passwords. I have a good memory. And I have numbers, letters, a combination. The problem is you have a password for Gmail, a password for Yahoo, a password for work, a password for the mobile phone. Sometimes, too many passwords. Okay, all right. So grammar and phrasal verbs. Basically, with phrasal verbs, there is one thing you have to consider. Okay. Apart from the verb, the verb and the preposition, you have to consider the fact that the verb and the preposition sometimes they have to stay together. You can't separate them, and sometimes you can separate them. What does this mean? Okay, let's have a look. All right. Okay, so you've got turn the computer on. Here you can see turn on is separable. You can separate it. Yeah, you separate it and you can say turn on the computer or turn the computer on. Both fine. Okay, turn the computer on or turn on the computer. Fine. However, do you remember I said when I was doing this, with the stereo, it was turn it on, turn it off. Okay, so when you're using the object pronoun, you must put it in the middle if it's separable. Okay, so turn on it is not possible. Sounds really strange, really, really strange. Okay, so here we've got a transitive, means it takes an object, transitive, and it's separable. Okay, now another example here, turn the music up. Remember when the volume went up, or turn up the music, or turn it up, not turn up it. Okay, and then you have, so for example, a summary, you have turn on, which is separable, turn off, which is separable, turn up, which is separable, turn down, which is separable, and then you have other verbs that are inseparable. So you don't separate them. You say, I am looking for information. You can't say, I'm looking information for. No, I'm looking for information. I'm looking for information. So you cannot separate it. Usually, when you look in a dictionary or a dictionary online or a dictionary, normal dictionary, if it's a good dictionary, it should tell you when it's a phrasal verb, it will tell you two things: if it's transitive or intransitive, and if it's separable or inseparable when it's a transitive verb. Okay, so it should tell you. Okay, let's see what else. So we've got looking for information. We've got stand for. Do you remember? What does www stand for? Log in. Now this one has no object, so it's intransitive. Log out, no object, it's intransitive. And go out. Go out, we did a few lessons ago when we were talking about routines and habits. And also in the lesson, we talked about the past. So go out is to go to a restaurant, go and see your friends, go to a bar in the evening. And then you've got the opposite, stay in. So it has no object. So obviously you don't separate it. And the last one, go away, which we talked about in the past simple lesson. To go away for a short break, short holiday, away from your city or town or village. Okay. So here you've got a lot of phrasal verbs. All of them, apart from the last three, directly related to using computers. Okay, now we're going to look at some more vocabulary. Okay, so here you can see we've got a lovely picture of the Perfectly Spoken Facebook page, and here you can see this is the web page. Okay, it's the web page, and you can see the web page has different sections. Okay, so this is a web page, and web page is one page on a website. Okay, a website. And then you've got, very important, the search bar. The search bar is where you look for information, look for. And then you can download information from a website, or you can upload things to a website. For example, on Facebook, you can upload photographs, you can upload videos, okay? And you also have on the left, like here on this web page, you have on the left the menu. We call it a menu, just like the menu you have in a restaurant, okay? And you can also, you can click on different options on the menu. Okay, so you click. The verb we use is to click on the options. And here in this example, I just wanted to show you that in this example, we've got, can you see, lots of different windows open. So each one is a window. You've got the PowerPoint window, the Word window, and the Perfectly Spoken Facebook page. And you've got, so you've got three windows, and you've got in the window with the website, you've got various tabs open. Can you see? You've got different tabs. So one is Facebook, and then you've got a new tab. You've got a dictionary tab, and you can just click on those different tabs there. If you click on the tabs here, you can actually access the different tabs, okay? And then you've got, so here are the tabs. And to access some websites, you have to log in, and you need a password, okay? And you have to remember it, okay? And here we have a Word document. You can see there's a Word document open, and it's very important that you remember to save your document. And where do you save it? You save it as a file, and you save it in a folder. And you can also delete files. That's when you're like, oh, I don't want this anymore. You delete it, okay? It goes away. Right, so let's have a look at some of the verbs now, okay? So we'll just review the verbs, not the phrasal verbs, okay? Just the other verbs we've seen in this lesson talking about computers, okay? All right, so here are some of the verbs. You've got press, and we press buttons, okay? Click, open, you open a window, close a window. Open a window, close a window, okay? And watch online. You can watch films online. You can watch videos online, okay? You've got save and the opposite, delete. And then you've got download and upload. So download and upload. Okay, so right, I am going to give you some instructions now, and you have to listen and try to follow the instructions. Okay, all right, so I just have to do something here. I think we're ready. Are you ready? So listen very carefully and try to follow the instructions. Right, so first of all, turn on your computer. Go to the internet, open your browser and put the words TED Talks into the search bar. I'll spell that for you. It's TED and space TALKS. Okay, you will then get to my favorite website. I really like this website because it has a massive archive of really interesting talks. You can watch the talks online or you can download them, I think. I think you can download them. You can click on the settings on the bottom right of the video and turn on the subtitles. It's an excellent way to practice listening in English because most of the talks are in English. You can look for the topics that interest you and you can find lots of very interesting people and subjects. So I really, really love TED Talks. I think it's a brilliant website, brilliant project in general. So, and it is good if you want to practice your English. So I'm going to show you now again the text, and I will read it so you have an opportunity to read and listen, and also listen out for those phrasal verbs. Notice the imperative. Look at the vocabulary related to IT and computers, okay? All right, so I'm going to show you the text. Turn on your computer and go to the internet. Open your browser and put the words TED Talks into the search bar. You will then get to my favorite website. I really like this website because it has a massive archive of really interesting talks. You can watch the talks online or you can download them, I think. You can click on the settings on the bottom right of the video and turn on the subtitles. It is an excellent way to practice listening in English because most of the talks are in English. You can look for the topics that interest you and you can find lots of very interesting people and subjects. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that listening, and it's a good idea to identify all the different aspects that we have talked about today, the vocabulary, the imperative, phrasal verbs. Okay, so thank you for listening for today's lesson. I will just remind you what we covered in the lesson today. Okay, so in this lesson, we looked at imperative, phrasal verbs, and vocabulary related to computers and IT in general. Okay, now in lesson 15, as with lesson 5 and lesson 10, lesson 15 is a review lesson, and it's very, very important to help recycle, because from lesson 11, 12, 13 and 14 we've done a lot of important grammar and important vocabulary. So please come along to lesson 15, Perfectly Spoken, level A2. Thank you for being in the class today, and I hope to see you in lesson 15. Thank you very much. Bye.